What's up, my YouTubers? What's up, my followers? What's up, my subscribers? Thank you for my new subscribers, y'all. I really appreciate that, man. Today we got this is serious news from Lil Durk and his attorney. I'm watching Cuff Boy's reaction to it, and then I'm going to give my opinion on it at the end and let y'all know what's up, man. Because if y'all don't know, Lil Durk went in for like a murder for hire. I don't even believe they had any evidence or anything. The only thing they had was a text from him saying like, hey, look, don't put no credit cards in my name, man, if y'all going to do whatever or y'all doing whatever y'all gonna do. And on that, they tried to pick him up and say, hey, look, you had something to do with this, which really, I don't believe that Durk had anything to do with that. You cannot stop someone else from doing what they're going to do, y'all. So let's see what Cuff Boy talking about, man. Cuff Boy come with that news, that fresh news all the time, and let's tap in.
He identifies those clips to be fan edits for social media platforms and are altered, fabricated, and inauthentic versions of the original song. They sent fan edits as evidence in a murder for hire case. They'd be like, no, watch this official music video by Lil Durk here, where he admits about the crimes, when it's actually a fan edit. Lil Durk's defense team has filed a massive motion to dismiss his superseding indictment. Whatever prosecutor was presenting this evidence to a grand jury, the prosecutors allegedly used a fan video edit, which is a big no-no because it's not made by anyone in Durk's team. Like, this is a huge error if this is true. I'm gonna read the full document. Hit subscribe. Let's go. All right, here we go. United States versus Durk Banks. Defendant Durk Banks, through his counsel of record, moves his court to dismiss the superseding indictment against him in this matter. In the alternative, he moves to compel disclosure of the grand jury minutes and evidence the government presented to the grand jury. This motion is based on the attached memorandum of points and authorities. There's a damn table of contents. Government presented false evidence to the grand jury that indicted Mr. Banks on November 7, 2024. Wow. Well, obviously they're going to say it's false, but that's just a crazy first line. They're going to be like, yeah, it's true. Plain language of the superseding indictment makes it apparent that the government told the grand jury that Mr. Banks, through specific lyrics in his music, celebrated and profited from a revenge murder that he ordered, namely that of SR in August of 2022. That claim is demonstrably false. The song the government relied upon as evidence against Mr. Banks, Wonderful Wayne and Jackie Boy, a song that was recorded by another artist, Babyface Ray, and on which Mr. Banks recorded a feature for, could not have been a commercialization of Mr. Banks' alleged murder for hire of SR, as the government represented to the grand jury. That's because Mr. Banks recorded the lyrics for Wonderful Wayne 7 months before the incident happened. The government's misrepresentation in the superseding indictment, whether knowing or reckless, undermines the integrity of the grand jury's true bill against Mr. Banks. The court should dismiss the superseding indictment against him as a result. Banks recorded the song in January 2022, that being his last involvement in this song. Further production was done by producers and other industry professionals, but no changes to content or lyrics were ever made by Banks or anyone else associated with Banks. Outside of the four corners of the superseding indictment, but important to this court's consideration of the egregiousness of the government's conduct and necessity of the relief contained in this motion, the issue of the timing of these lyrics was addressed by undersigned defense counsel in Mr. Banks' detention hearing on December 12th. So here's how the government responded in the hearing.
All right, so if y'all reading, listening to what he just read, basically what he's just saying is that Durk made a song about a diss track way before something even happened, y'all. And what the government has done was put that in evidence, saying that he made it after something had happened, which that's not true. And he said if that's not true, then this case should be thrown out. And I'm telling y'all, when you got good lawyers, man, and they on their stuff and they pick up on certain stuff, miracles do happen, y'all. Free the innocent, man. It don't matter if you in there and people accuse you of doing something, y'all. It's a lot of innocent people that's locked up right now, y'all, that in there for crimes that they did not commit, y'all. So let's keep listening in.
In person. To counter this argument, counsel for the government posited to the court that even if the lyrics themselves were written 7 months prior to the charged conduct, a version of this song was modified that added audio from a news clip of TB on top of the original song. So what I think happened here is the video editor of the music video might have done that. Like added news clips on top of the song. Found this assertion at the detention hearing and unaware of any such modification attributable to Mr. Banks, undersigned counsel asked the government to provide what they were referring to in an email. The government replied with videos that appear to be taken from recent open source YouTube searches that were in no way connected to Mr. Banks. What? Videos that appear to be taken from recent open source YouTube searches that were in no way connected to Mr. Banks. Wait, so they sent YouTube videos that weren't even on his channel. Like it wasn't on Durk's official channel. Wait, so they sent fan edits? Is that what they're hinting at? Were fan edits sent as evidence? The issue.
So that's what they done. You know how people make AI songs about you and put your face on there, and this was not even on Durk's channel, y'all. And what they done was they edited that and then put that into evidence when they filed charges on him to get this guy charged, y'all. Durk may be coming home, y'all, real soon.
Of the timing of Mr. Banks' recording of the lyrics verse in question is not one of the frivolous or inconsequential value. It is quite the opposite. The government's misrepresentations about the creation and meaning of Wonderful Wayne are the linchpin of the superseding indictment's theory of Mr. Banks' guilt. There's no way that's all the evidence they have. Well, they have more, but it was just text messages. There's got to be more, right? It can't just be lyrics. We've all seen how lyrics go in the YSL trial. Following the attempted murder of TB and the murder of SR, defendant Banks sought to commercialize SR's death by rapping about his revenge on TB with music that explicitly references audio from a news clip taken shortly after SR's murder. Quando Rondo screamed "no, no" after seeing SR's dead body. SR is Quando's friend, remember, is in fact the only material allegation that does not appear in the original indictment, which does not charge Mr. Banks, but appears in the superseding indictment, which does charge him. Now here they are talking about the original here's an overview of the original indictment. These 5 names involved apparently, flew in a private jet to LA and used OTF credit cards, retaliating for King Von. Co-conspirator 1, which I believe was Durk, made clear in coded language that...
So y'all heard that. They used credit cards that was in Durk's name, y'all, and charged whatever they charged, ski masks, whatever they needed to do what they had to do to commit these crimes without Durk's consent. Because if you go back, Durk literally said, "Do not charge anything in my name." Basically, he's saying he don't want anything to do with anything, and that didn't necessarily mean that he didn't want to have anything to do with what they were going to do. He just said, don't use his credit card. That could have been for any reason. Don't use my credit cards, bro. They did it anyway. They went over Durk's head. They disrespected Durk, bro, and those are not his friends, y'all. So let's keep tapping in.
He would pay a bounty or monetary reward, or make payment to anyone who took part in killing TB for his role in King Von's murder. Alleged to have texted co-conspirator 3 the day before the murder, "Don't book no flights under no names involved with me." Purchased ski masks, secured 2 sedans, armed themselves with guns, including one modified to operate as fully automatic machine gun. Banks, he's co-conspirator 1 in the superseding indictment, calls him the head of OTF, directed the attempted murder of TB that resulted in SR's death. The superseding indictment contains only one new material alleged fact that the original indictment does not. So basically the lyrics, that he sought to commercialize the death by rapping about the revenge. Told me they got that Addy, go, got location, go, green light, go. Look on the news and see your son, you screaming, "No, no, pussy." The underlying falsehood. For the superseding indictment's allegation about the meaning of Banks' lyrics, they describe SR's killing and reference media about it. Banks would have need to have penned them after the August 19th, 2022 shooting. Banks did not, however, write those lines after the shooting. He wrote them 7 months beforehand. I mean, this is a great argument. If they have solid proof that he recorded on that day, I think they did actually, and I think his bond hearing, they brought evidence of even a recording file of that day and everything. Yeah, here it is. Justin Gibson, producer and sound engineer, who recorded the song. Gibson recorded Banks' verse, which Banks wrote and recorded simultaneously during his recording session on January 25th, with all the saved times of the file and everything. And unless the government is prosecuting Banks on the theory of extrasensory prescience, the lyrics could not have soundly informed the grand jury's finding of probable cause. Exhibit 2, Declaration of Ahmad Sheriff, the founder and CEO of Your World Music. Sheriff attests that he received Mr. Banks' verse and lyrics for Wayne and Jackie Boy from Mr. Gibson on July 22nd, 2022, after they received no additional lyrics or modifications to the original lyrics from Mr. Banks. Thereafter, on August 23rd, I'm saying Sheriff, but it's probably Sharif. Fuck. My bad. Incorporated Mr. Banks' verse into the track and finalized the track on his end. So this guy literally got the song over a month prior and never got any more lyrics or recording from Banks. Sheriff reviewed the open source YouTube links that were provided through an email correspondence by the government as examples of videos they referenced in the detention hearing, and can confirm that the audio and video clips featuring audio of the individual young No, reportedly from news clips, are not from the original recording. He identifies those clips to be fan edits for social media platforms and are altered, fabricated, and inauthentic versions of the original song. They sent fan edits as evidence in a murder for hire case. See, things like this make me just shake my head. How are you a U.S. attorney and you're doing dumbass shit like this? So some fan incorporated the clip of Quando Rondo screaming at his friend's dead body over the music video. It wasn't through Durk's channel. The original authentic version of the song, Mr. Sharif confirms, does not contain these manipulated elements. He tests that creating altered audio edits is easy to do through social media platforms, and such practice often result in misinformation and misrepresentation of original pieces of music and art. Argument: superseding indictment is not sustainable against Mr. Banks in the face of the fundamental factual error upon which the grand jury relied. That's crazy. If the grand jury actually was shown these clips, specifically these fan edits that weren't made by anyone on Durk's team or Durk himself, obviously, that's crazy. Such an error requires dismissal of the...
He's right, y'all. What they done was they fabricated evidence, and if none of this is accurate and factual, then guess what? The DA got a problem on their hands now, y'all, and Durk case might be overturned for him. Not for all, just for him.
The indictment under the following circumstances. First, where the grand jury returned an indictment based on the government's knowing presentation of a falsehood, citing United States v. Kennedy, a few other sites of cases. The court has the power to dismiss an indictment that the grand jury returned based on information the government knew at the time to be later learned to have been false. Mr. Banks does not take lightly the request that he's making of this court. Dismissal is in all cases a drastic step and thus generally disfavored. That is especially so when a defendant challenges the nature of the evidence and the government presented to induce an indictment. However, court intervention is necessary in cases like this to ensure that a charging decision is a product of the grand jury's own unbiased and untainted judgment. Just citing a bunch of cases here. All of them seem to pertain to the grand jury and how they are presented everything. Courts can and do step in when the grand jury's functions may be compromised. When proceedings are conducted in a manner that violates few clears which ensure the integrity of the grand jury's functions. False information presented to the grand jury here compels the superseding indictment's dismissal. The indictment's insertion about Mr. Banks' lyrics, their timing, and their meaning is false. When Banks wrote the cited lyrics, SR's killing was still 7 months in the future. I mean, that statement right there is crazy if they presented this song as evidence to the grand jury.
So there you have it right there. They're saying that he made a song 7 months before something happened, and when they presented the evidence to get Durk charged, they're saying that he made this song after the violence happened with his case. So listen up, y'all. We can pause right there. We're gonna see if Durk charges get dropped and thrown out, y'all. And if it does, he's good, y'all. They'll let Durk out, man, and Durk will go back to living his life and rapping, y'all, and doing good by himself. This is a big lesson learned for him, man. Those dudes that done this to him when he told them don't use his credit card, y'all, if I am your friend and you call me and regardless what the issue is, or you text me and I say, hey, look, man, don't use my credit cards for nothing, man. Basically, don't get me in trouble if you are going to do something, or not even that, don't use my credit cards for anything because maybe my bank is on a budget. Maybe I don't have any money in that account, etc. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to see at the end of the day what Durk does with this case and what his lawyers come up with, and will this case be thrown out, y'all? Tap in, man. Free Durk, man. And at the end of the day, I think Cuff Boy's right. This evidence is not going to stick, y'all. And I have some bad news today too, y'all. I'm going to tell y'all. Man, I'm driving and a squirrel literally is crossing the street, y'all, and it's running fast as hell. And I tried to maneuver it, y'all. The squirrel just ran into the tire. I'm trying to dodge it and trying to let it go under the car, and the squirrel got ran over today, y'all. I don't know why squirrels do that. It could have just stopped. You got smart squirrels, because I done been driving and the squirrel will stop, and then it'll wait till I drive past it, then it'll keep going. Evidently not this squirrel. I don't know what the hell was wrong with this squirrel, y'all. It just kept running straight into the tire, got ran over today. So poor little squirrel, man. But yeah, man, y'all tap into my channel, like, subscribe, follow my channel, share my channel, give me comments, some feedback on Lil Durk, man, and let me know what y'all think about what's going on in his case. I just told y'all they presenting false evidence on Durk case. What y'all think should be done about this, and let's see if it get thrown out. Handle your business, man. Let's go.